What's good, Panther Nation? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I'm CJ.
And I'm your couch scout extraordinaire, Tony.
And in this episode, we're going to take a look at who we think is wide receiver one right now for the Carolina Panthers. Let's get it. Tony, what's good with you, cuz? How you doing today?
Man, I can't call it. You know me, got six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Guess I call it even.
Call it even.
But
That's
other
right.
than that, man, I'm great. How about yourself? How you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. And one of the big reasons I'm feeling good is our subscriber count is going up, steadily going up. And if you
Yes,
haven't
sir.
already, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, turn that post notification bell so you know when our videos come out. We appreciate all love and support, and we're still striving to get to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. But let's go
No
ahead and
doubt.
get into it. Now, on episode 5 of our series of Agree or Disagree, we brought up an article by PFF that said the Panthers didn't have enough firepower at the wide receiver spot to make the playoffs. And if you haven't looked at that yet, I will put I'll put a link up here and so you can check that out. But we did agree and disagree on that, and we both disagreed, and we both feel like they do have enough firepower to make the playoffs. So that brings us to our next topic of today, which is right now, in this moment, who do you think is wide receiver one for the Panthers? Okay. And we got three choices that we think will vie for that wide receiver one spot. Okay. And
Right.
we're going to go ahead and bring up some slides here, discuss each one of, read off this stat for each player. So, first on the list is Adam Thielen. Okay. Adam Thielen
Okay.
has 9 years of experience. His career stats 534 receptions, 6,682 yards, 55 touchdowns. He's a two-time Pro Bowler 2017, 2018, second team All Pro 2017. And on his pro day, way back when, he ran a 4.45 40. Okay.
Way
His
back
best
when.
season, his best season was in 2018, where he had 113 receptions, 1,317 yards, and 9 touchdowns. All right.
1873.
Mm-hmm. So next on the list, DJ CHARK. All right. He has 5 years of experience in the league. His career stats 177 receptions, 2,544 yards, 18 touchdowns. He was a Pro Bowler in 2019, and his 40 time at the combine was a 4.34. And his best season was 2019, where he had 73 receptions, 1,008 yards, and 8 touchdowns. All right.
Boy, get that pew speed.
Exactly. All right. And next on the list will be TERRACE Marshall Jr. Okay. 2 years of experience. He was drafted by the Panthers. His career stats 45 receptions, 628 yards, 1 touchdown. All right. And he ran a 4.38 40 on his pro day. And his best season was last season, 2022. We had 28 receptions, 490 yards, and 1 touchdown. Okay.
Right.
So now,
Right.
Tony, I'm going to kick it to you first. Which one of these gentlemen do you believe will be wide receiver one?
Well, my choice would be Adam Thielen right now.
Okay.
And for the obvious reason, experience.
Mm-hmm.
9-year veteran. He's a proven commodity. You know exactly what you're going to get with him. Um, Two-time Pro Bowler, as you mentioned, second
Mm-hmm.
team All Pro. There's a lot to. There's a lot there, and you have to ask yourself, why was he the first wide receiver that Carolina went out and got in free agency under Frank Wright?
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I think it's because he's an elite route runner. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I don't think but when you're talking about creating separation at a line of scrimmage, you know, he can definitely. do that. And then on top of that, he possesses good speed. Now I don't know or don't believe that he still runs a 4.45 40, but with his by him being technically sound, he's a technician when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to route running, setting up the defensive back, and creating separation. You can always make that 4.5 seem like it's a 4.4. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And his
Yeah.
production is still there, even though he was number two to Justin Jefferson last year. He still produced you with a little over 700 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns. I'll take those numbers any day of the week. What about
Yeah.
you?
Same here. Now, I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one, and I think right now, wide receiver one is gonna have to be Adam Thielen. Okay,
Right,
for just about everything that you have said, his experience. I was also going to bring up he did post numbers, good numbers, being the number two receiver behind Justin Jefferson. I
right.
think his route running will be advantageous for all the other receivers. They can learn from him, pick up little things that that he brought to the table over his career. Um,
Right.
I also think that he would be a reliable target for Bryce Young as the season starts out, going through camp,
Exactly.
preseason, and on into the regular season. I think he would be that set of hands that, when not to say when the shit hits the fan, but when Bryce is looking and it's like, okay, cool. My only option is Adam. I'm gonna get it to him. I know he's gonna catch it. But now I say this with a caveat. Okay. Now
Okay.
we're going to revisit this topic again. Okay. This is going to be part one of our who's wide receiver one series. Okay.
Right.
But now my caveat is that Adam Thielen is not going to be wide receiver one for very long. Okay. And I
I can agree
will
with that.
yeah, I'll get in that into when we bring this up again. I ain't gonna say it now, but I do
Right.
believe that Adam Thielen he'll be wide receiver one, but I do think he's going to be surpassed by somebody, um, probably sooner than later. Once the regular season starts. So, but yeah,
Well, I think the if it was me and I was
mm,
looking at it, if I was the GM, if I was Scott Fitterer or Frank Wright, and we sitting there in the office and we discussing it, I think one of the main reasons to bring Adam Thielen in when they did is he's still productive. That's number
mm-hmm,
one. And he brings a veteran presence into that locker room that didn't have any at all until they signed him. Because if I'm not mistaken, the only other veteran presence that you had in there was LaVisca Chenault, who has I think this is fifth year, fourth or fifth
yeah,
year. So besides LaVisca, other than LaVisca, you had Terrace Marshall with two.
mm-hmm,
Then they go out and get Adam Thielen, 9 year veteran. They bring in DJ Chalk, 5 year veteran. Then they signed Demir Bird.
mm-hmm,
I think he's like 6 or 7 year veteran. So
yeah,
I think that bringing some veteran presence, bringing a veteran in to add presence to the rookies that you have up and coming. You think about Jonathan Mingo, rookie this year, Terrace Marshall, into his third year, which
mm-hmm,
technically, still in my mind, he's like in year two because he hasn't played. I think last year he played the most games of his first 2 years. He played nine, right?
yeah,
So
mm-hmm,
that the room was needing was needing that veteran presence, and Adam Thielen brings that along with the production. So
okay,
I it yeah, like you said, I don't get too much in who I think could possibly, overtake that wide receiver one position later on down the road. But as of right
mm-hmm,
now, as we speak, I would have to
yeah.
go with Adam Thielen. Like if we had a game Sunday, I would think Adam Thielen would be that man.
I agree. I agree. But one thing I would say about this wide receiver room, now I still got to bring up the fact that DJ Moore is gone. Okay.
Okay.
We all miss DJ Moore still, you know, Still wish he was here, but he's not. But as a whole, I think it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of talent in this wide receiver room. Okay, so it's
Yeah,
not the
I agree.
situation where you stop DJ Moore and then you worry about everybody else. If that kind of
Right.
makes sense. I may have said that wrong. Like DJ was our focal point, and then you had Terrace Marshall, who, in my opinion, was just used completely wrong in his first 2 years. Well, I say
Yeah.
year and a half, because you did see his production and his numbers go up in the latter part of the 2022 season, which was last year. But that first year, I mean, he did have some injuries, and the first half of last year, I just think they were just like they didn't know where he fit into the game plan per se. It to me, it was just a mess. And like I said, that's just my opinion. But I don't think this is one of those wide receiver rooms where you're gonna be like, all right, well, as long as we get him, we good. Or as long as we stop this one, we good. You know, Thielen, CHARK,
Right.
and Marshall, even though Marshall is not proven per se, as yet. And I would even say, DJ CHARK, I wouldn't really call him, proven yet either. But
Right.
a healthy DJ CHARK, a healthy Adam Thielen, and a healthy Terrace Marshall Jr. has the potential to be a really good receiver room. And you add in Jonathan Mingo and Laviska Shenault.
Hey, a lot of people can continue to sleep on Carolina, and rightfully so, because
Mm-hmm.
this it's not a proven product. This is the first year. We ain't got in the past. We don't know what we're gonna have. But on paper, you cannot argue with what you see.
Yeah.
And if you do, to me, you just a hater. That's just how I look at it. So
Yeah.
that's where it is.
Okay. All right. Well, you got anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Pretty much just I'm I'm anxious to see. I'm excited to see how this battle is going to play out over the course of time,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully sooner than later we get that definitive answer as to who will be wide receiver one.
Indeed, indeed. And like I said before, this comes off of our fifth episode of Agree or Disagree, where we looked at the PFF article that said that the Panthers didn't have enough firepower at the wide receiver spot to make it to the playoffs. So that kind of spurred this episode here, and we're going to expand on this. This is part one. So we'll revisit this camp, preseason, and into the regular season as well. But as
Yeah.
always, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on that post notification bell so you know when our videos come out. We appreciate all the love and support, and we thank you. And as always, Panther Nation, keep pounding.